Yeah, I don't understand this. It's weird. My my advice, I'll start commentating. My advice is just look it up and see if you can find anything on Google as well. It's weird. I don't, yeah. All right. Anyway, again, I'm trying to get a co-commentator on. Welcome to the stream, everyone. And as I've put in the episode, well, the stream title, Tier 2 Carnage. Let's hope around the streets of Monaco. I'm really looking forward to it. I will say the lobster stream yesterday was fantastic. If anyone's missed that, I would actually recommend going back and watching that. Because that was superb stuff. Really enjoyed that. It was a very entertaining and I think appropriate taste on the tier 3 action. But tier 2, my tier to commentate on. And I'm looking forward to it. Let us know if you're anyone in tier 2 watching, what the weather's like. We did do a league race here in Apex about quite a few months ago, and we did see some rain in the race, so there's a decent chance of maybe seeing some at some point. It looks dry out there, 16 drivers. The noticeable absentee you might have noticed is the leading runner in the Tier 2 Championship, Merc. He's decided to maybe strategically, I say, there's other words I can use perhaps, but strategically avoid the challenges of Monaco, and we're definitely going to miss him around this track. But we've got Japella, we've got Volt, we've got Goose, Elusive, Antivirus, and many more to entertain you today in this beautiful, track. I think Monaco has its doubters, but it's a very nice and fun track to drive. It was yesterday, and I think you can overtake if you get the right run. A lot of it's down to fresher tyres, but it's a hell of an experience. We don't see it often. This is the hairpin here, and I'll probably try to stick to a lot of the TV cam views as much as possible because I think that's a lovely shot. And this is the second of the Miraboos into the tunnel. We're watching Trooper at the moment. Let me get track map on. You can see all the cars coming out. We only had 12 runners yesterday, so fingers crossed. Well, it'll be interesting to see how many will finish 16 daring to challenge Monaco today. Right, I'm just going to share the link to the DTF1 chat again, because in the past it's not shown up very well. I can check. Yeah. Okay. I'll have a quick look. Let me know. Did you click anything on the Xbox screen? Like on the party? Because I think that is the key. I think you do have to add your voice at some point. I have changed that, so that might have been my fault. Ooh, yellow flags. Trooper retires, but he does have a quali ban, so. Yeah, I can't hear you at the moment on the stream. So, yeah, it should be, you should have to add your voice to the things deal. Yeah. Alright, anyway, Volt on provisional pole, not a surprise. He was in a very good position yesterday before the spin, before the, I think it's Casino. It was Mazanet, he spun turn 3, and he's setting the pace at the moment. Allied Squire looking good, P2. We'll be looking at a pole in the 109s really. And that's where Volt is at, of course, at the moment. Driver's still on the laps. Let's get lap data on. So you can see those times. Gary improves on that lap. Not quite enough though. I think it was another lap on one tyre, so... Right, this is someone to look out for, Antivirus. He has been lagging all over the place, and let me tell you, if he is lagging into turn 1, we might live up to the stream title of Tier 2 Carnage. And, you know, I love these guys, but I think we all want to see some carnage. Apologies to the stewards, so fingers crossed we're going to see some action. To sort of, you know, it reminds me of the, I don't know if anyone, oh he's lagging there, isn't he? God. RIP Tier 2. It reminds me of what Ricardo said about, you know, I think around Imola with the sort of glorifying the crashes, but it's the video game. We'll glorify the crashes. You know, hopefully it'll mix things up and give someone a chance who doesn't normally win, doesn't normally get on the podium, a shot today. The Williams have found a gap. The Williams will need to be a bit careful there. I think they'll clear the pit lane, but you don't want to be against the flow of traffic here, really. We'll stick on board with Antivirus as he heads into this lovely hotel hairpin. The McLaren behind. Exactly, Crim Cram. There was plenty yesterday, so I was able to stay out of trouble for most of it, but it's quite dicey from what I can see on the track map and what I rewatched on Lobster Stream yesterday. And there's 4 more drivers out there. Tonight, so we should see a bit more traffic out on track. More cars should equal maybe a little bit more drama. So Virus across the line. His first lap of the session sees him go on provisional pole by 2/10. I think Volt though, I think the pole yesterday was a 109.3, 109.4, so we know there is time to be had from the American in second, as I think that was Beaver, I think up to P6. Goose will be about to finish his lap as well. He's improved over the course of the last few races. Goose across the line. He might have had a bit of a moment somewhere. He's only P12 for now, the 114. I think we'll stay on board of Allied Squire. We've not seen... I think he was in Tier 2 last week. But looking strong so far in this session. He's also, I believe, reserving in Tier 1 later on. Bit snappy around there. But keeps it together. Into the hairpin we go. Red Bull ahead, but should be far enough ahead. Into the slowest corner out of all the tracks on the calendar. Into the tunnel we go over. Let me remove that spectator menu actually. I always think that's a bit deceptive, the first apex of the Novo chicane. You can sort of not cut it, but you're always running the risk, and he did go wide and probably knocked the wall. How much damage? How much did that unsettle the car? Into La Razcas, a week go. Looks good. Oh, a spin in the back out there. And slightly quicker from the top right, from the lap data, but solidifying P3. Goose Slayer gets a lap in, he's P6. And you can see the gap between the two Williams there, 9/10 of a second. So the top 6 really separating themselves from the rest of the field. Bunch of nuns up to P7. Krabs, I think, was on a lap, so he struggled there. The reserve returning in this Monaco Grand Prix. It's a hell of a race to reserve for. Alright, you will excuse me a little bit because I'm just getting some late notes together. I will stick with as many drivers as I can. ET heading towards the tunnel. Slow cars ahead, he'll maybe have to be a little bit careful. Oh, he might be in trouble there. He might still be on a lap, Krabs, but oh yeah, that might be a... Stewards might take a look at that. We'll see. That's for troubles in Monaco, really. A lot of traffic out on track. And you need to sort of try to manage the space you're in as much as possible. If you can. ET still yet to set... Well, he should finish the lap unless he pits. No, he decides to pit. Virus on an outlap. Elusive as well. Elusive's looked mighty quick. Ghost Rider. And Gary as well. Gary's improving. I think we'll stick with Gary and then maybe return to Elusive later on. Oh, and Gary really wide there, and obviously slammed into the wall, I think. He didn't seem to... Oh, lost it on the front left. I'm going to guess he smacked the wall, possibly on the left, on the exit of an Oval chicane, and that maybe put the car to the on the right side of the track. He's P11, which isn't maybe a terrible starting position, but Ferrari, he got rammed up the arse last week by his teammate, and it's... Ferrari in trouble yet again, as I always love to say. Elusive not improving. Oh my god. I'm really... All I'm going to say is, everyone, this start's going to be worth watching if Anti's lagging. I'll have to... I'll get nuns to do a Catholic cross across his chest in preparation, I think, because I'm a bit concerned for all of them already. Not antivirus's fault, of course, but you know, obviously, if anyone's lagging at all, it's hard to judge distance at any track when someone lags. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. Well, I don't know if it was you who said it, Bold, but we need the GoFundMe for viruses to get Virus better Wi-Fi, perhaps. So we'll see. I know Volt can definitely go quicker. He can get the lap together based on yesterday. Allied Squire slightly improving as well. We'll stick with antivirus. He's struggling to find time as his lagging car glitches into La Rascaz. And he pits anyway. Yeah, Volt on a hot lap now. We'll stick with Allied Squire. He's third. Great job from him, really. Can't remember where he qualified last. Oh, that'll be an invalidation, yeah. Just turned a little bit too early into the corner. And Japela, look at this. He was great in the wet last race. And the AlphaTauri could lock out the front row. And what a result that would be for Jones Gang and the AlphaTauri camp. Let's see what he can do. Japela across the line. It could be. It is pole position provisional by 0.3 of a second for Verdane. And he switched to no traction control, I think, fairly recently. and it seems to have really improved his pace. 0.3 quicker than his teammate Japella, in control at the moment, but Volt Elite right here, look at this. Has a shot into the Razkaz we go, swing it in. Try not to get too close to the barrier on the exit. Do your best to manage the tyre slip. And across the line we go. Volt! Oh, by, what's that, 1900ths of a second. I did say he could go quicker, and he certainly has. And Japella still has work to do. Fantastic lap by Volt. Qualified on pole yesterday, but the trouble with the spin and the unfortunate DQ because the game's stupid. But good job from him. As we said, pole in the 109s. I'm sure in Tier 1 we'll probably see it in the 108s. But it's the time to beat at the moment. I presume that will probably be Volt's last lap of the session. He's going slow here as well to let Mr. Gandalf through, who I believe is on a lap. There's also a Williams towards the line. But was it Beaver or Goose? I'm not sure. Stick on board with Gary, I think. Number 13. Don't know why he's not number 50 really with the 5,000, but we'll let him have it. Last few corners of the race, what can the Ferrari do? Trouble at Ferrari, as I love to say, and love to build up as much as possible. And will we see more trouble or some joy? No, it's a poor lap by Gary, 6/10 down. But as I said, P11, not a bad starting position. You'll get the fresh tyres, can probably go a different way in terms of strategy, and maybe gain some places that way. Right, who's on a lap? Elusive looks slower. Is Mr. Nuns on a lap? Oh, that's a nice view into the Razkaz from behind. Number 65 in the Renault. What can Nuns do? Yeah, I think he got a podium on one of the practice races midweek. He's up to P5 just by a 100th of a second. That's it, ahead of Elusive Ice, who I think it was Elusive on pole last week. I might have been wrong. He led some of the race from memory before Japella got past, from what I can remember. Yeah, so Volt will not set another lap. It's over to Japella to answer back and to find some time around the tricky 19 corners of the world-famous street circuit around the Municipality. Oh, how fucking pronounce that? I'm not even going to try. Municipality. Oh, Pality. Oh, I can't even. I'll forget that. City-state. I'll just call it a city-state. That's easier. Right, antivirus on a lap as well. I think we'll do our best to follow the leaders. We might see someone improve from behind, but I think it's more likely these guys. Allied Squire as well. He's running close to the wall there on the curb. It's how close you want to get to these walls via intent or unintentional actions. And you will, the race will be about managing the... Oh, the damage! Might have jinxed him there. Struggling on that corner, a little bit of a turn in. Let's go back to antivirus. Japella behind. Downhill into the tunnel. Second or third you want here. And then second again on the exit. Maybe third to minimise the wheel spin. Antivirus not quite finding time, and he's going to have to find a big chunk of time to improve here. There might be a Red Bull ahead. Where's this Red Bull? Oh my goodness. He couldn't get out of the way there, could he? The first spinner, the first crash of the qualifying. And Japella might have traffic ahead, and he's lost it anyway. And will that confirm the second consecutive Monaco pole position for Volt? I think it probably will. Krabs does not improve. No one else is on a lap. Congratulations to Volt's pole position again, this time in Tier 2. But unlike yesterday, 39 laps, you will have to try to survive. DTF1 Drive to Survive, it really is, around the streets of Monte Carlo. Can't wait. It's time for the main event. And I think a good reminder as well is, I think in the case of the Prince of Mexico, the Mexican Prince, as Lobster called him, Mr. Telasau, you need to finish the race. And there are 16 runners. I mean, we would expect a decent amount to retire, but you just keep going and finish the race. You do not know how many are going to finish. You do not know what's going to happen, even if you are a few laps down. Yes, the real desperate housewives of DTF1. How desperate will they be around the streets of Monaco? Let me know in the chat boxes. I have no idea what happens in the DTF1 casino, so let me know if there's any bets on this race. I presume we've not had any joy, Mr. Lurkin. I don't think so, yeah. Mm. What audio setting in party? Or set in Xbox? I'm sorry, I don't know what it's doing. It's a shame for you, but yeah. Yeah. I can't really put a finger on it, really. Vault Elite, second consecutive race. Yeah, I'll troubleshoot. I'll have to shoot it before next week. I don't really. I don't understand. It must have changed some kind of setting without me realizing. But I mean, I didn't do any commentary for probably like 3 4 weeks at one point because I mean there was USA and I don't know whether it's somehow done something in that period of time. But yeah, I don't understand. My advice, it would be helpful if you watched sort of the midfield, the back of the field, because I'll probably have the camera view on the front runners, so that would be helpful. And just let me know if oh no, that's and just let me know if like any crashes happen, and I'll try to relay it to the stream to the viewers. And I apologise if it sounds like I'm ignoring you at times, because obviously they can't hear you, so yeah. Alright, away we go. Hopefully we'll see as much carnage as the Iron Man 2 film. Um, which if anyone... that scene really bugged me. I don't know if it did anyone else, but the stewards weren't doing a very good job of stopping the cars. There was no yellow flags or anything, and it was quite unrealistic in that sense, but I think the stewarding will be better today. We saw a yellow flag just then, so they're doing a safer job out there today. I know you've got a heated rivalry with Antivirus Merc, so I wanna see some comments to him throughout the race. If you are able to. Right. So some of them are on the hards, which I think is perhaps the right call. We don't know when we're going to see safety cars. On a statistical level, the safety cars are likely. There must be at least one a year, really, of Monaco in real life. We're nearly approaching the race. They're quite spread out, aren't they? Volt's gone for it, but the Coyote and Trooper at the back just making their way out the tunnel. So the Volt's not really tried to back up the pack up much. Yeah, he is a great driver. I do agree with you on that, Silencer. Good to see you here today. 15 viewers. Fantastic to see you all. And I can't wait. As I said, I normally do want a clean race, but as we know, I think race is always a little bit more spicy with, you know, crashes and, you know, stuff. So, yeah, let's see how they handle the start. Antivirus twitching off the start, and that's a great indication of the lag to come. And will that cause incidents to occur? Quite possibly. We saw yesterday, I think the top 7 couldn't gain places off the start because of, you know, because it is Monaco, but the lights are out, and are you ready? Jump starts, loads of jump starts, and the lights are out, and away we go. Volt's going to look to challenge off the line. Owen into the wall, similar to yesterday. I was in that position, tough to get through. Lots of jump starts over the ricochet, and do you know what's happened behind, Ted? Let me know if you do. Yeah, a couple of spinners I'm hearing. There's a Williams back there, and we see how it progressed. Gary Electrifreeze and Hal will be absolutely gutted because I'm not sure who jumped first. One of them jumped the start, and then what normally happens, someone goes ahead, and then you react to it and go as well. So they're going to be sort of fucked right now, especially around Monaco drive-throughs. Who damaged, did you say? Yeah, Beaver, possible wing change at the back of the field. He got damaged. We're not sure what happened into turn 100%. And contact at the Novell chicane. It's the Renault. Do you know what happened, Ted? Yeah, possible contact, risky driving. He must have had damage in Allied Squire, because otherwise that's a weird time to pit this early on. He might not lose out too much, because we're going to see a gaggle of them pit as well. Electro in. Beaver with a damaged wing staying out as well. So they're looking for track position. Volt. He was able to pull a gap to me yesterday. He's not pulling a gap to Japella so far. Antivirus sitting just behind as well. And no, he's not got wing damage. I thought for a second he might have done elusive P4. Let's see who's gained places off that start. Elusive, fantastic start there, up 2 places. That is, of course, in part to Allied Squire pitting. And the racing points now running very closely. And Goose past Nuns. Unfortunately, we only caught the end of that, but Goose Slayer moving up in the wall with 2 places. Nuns falling back. He's going to need some divine intervention to move up places in this race. You've got to feel now. I've got to say, I'm not sure what the Nuns would have thought of him competing in this race with Casinos and Debauchery and Sin all around. So perhaps not having the same support of the nunnery that he usually has today. ET on the back of Nuns as well. Maybe Nuns struggling with the setup a little bit. I did find yesterday, I was using a setup yesterday which really didn't work for me very well. And it was a tough to keep it going. And How's completely the wrong way around. There's a Williams approaching. And oh my goodness me, how did we not see a crash there? How close was that? Right, back to the front. We'll do our best to cover all of the action today. It's not the easiest job. Of course. Yeah, Electra Free's retiring. What? Yeah, you know, 3 laps. Without being too critical. He might have had wing damage, but just keep going. You don't know how many people are going to retire. You know, 3 laps, you know, what? I'd like to see a little bit more commitment, you know, really. You know, even if you're lapped around here, you don't know if other people are going to get wing damage, safety cars. But Volts, 5-second penalty. Yeah, 5-second penalty there. It is a tough pit lane to enter here. You've just got to turn in. Before you turn in, you have to try to get below 37, really, I find. And he's going to lose out on track position as well to the Ferrari of King Trooper, who had the quali ban. He's up to... No, it's Gary, actually, pardon me. Pitting as well. Early pit stop for Gary. Maybe he had wing damage as well. King Trooper, though, he's moved up 7 places. So is the Red Bull of Coyote. So making moves for those guys back there. Right, let's go back to the tyres so you guys can keep an eye on them. So I know Gary had the drive-through. That's my fault. But still ahead of Antivirus, which is really going to hurt the AlphaTauri driver there. I mean, Antivirus is on the hard tyres, but you'd think he's going to lose a bit of time behind Gary, possibly, based on the quali classification. As expected, the field is beginning to stretch out. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, you've got cars out of the Novel here, and others further out. Thanks for putting that in the chat, Toes. I didn't even realise I had it on, so thanks for letting me know. How's hit? Yeah. How's hitting the wall. He has been blue flagged, but again, just keep on going. You don't know what's going to happen. I can't stress that enough. Everyone who finished got points yesterday, so just keep going. You know, and it, you know, it's maybe a bit, you know, sort of, what's the word? It's not very helpful, maybe, for me to say that. You know, it's frustrating to drive this track, but I think you've just got to hang in there, really. But the front two, so close. And Japelle, as we switch, he's in the wall, and Hal will unlap himself there. And he's not lost out too much. Luckily for Japelle, he's going to lose out to Elusive, but luckily for Japelle, he was far enough ahead to not have to wait longer for the pack behind. But he does have end plate damage, does Japelle, and that will give Volt Elite a lot of breathing room. And as I wanted to yesterday, he will probably be able to pull the gap. Yeah, pits. But you know, he'll maybe get a little bit of an undercut, and I would maybe expect Volt to cover that in the next few laps. But yeah, he's gonna lose out. Yeah, Goose up to P3. King Trooper again gaining places, and Ghost Rider on the softs challenge in the back of the Ferrari. His brother runs Ferrari. He's looking to upset the balance today. Oh. Yeah, we just saw the end of that. Yeah, I've been told, I think if Antivirus given the place back, perhaps. Oh, and Allied Squire. Possible contact there. I think Antivirus is losing it a little bit, and maybe possible lag as well might have affected things. We're not sure. Again, unfortunately we don't have replays, so we're doing the best to call it as we can. Volt 7.5 clear up front. Goose Slayer and Nuns and DT are coming through, have kept it clean and have gained places as well. Let's get the position change on. The top 9 all gaining places. They are the movers and the shakers around the streets of Monaco. Gary did have the drive-through, but P9 at the moment. He might have been around P6 if not for that, and Beaver on Krabs, maybe Krabs had a moment. Volt stringing it out front. Battle here. Allied Squire having to pit for a new wing, so he's going to fall further back. Unfortunate for him. Elusive picking up a penalty you might have seen at the bottom of your screen. Again, the top 10 Antivirus down have all pitted. Antivirus, he obviously had to pit because he had the wing damage, but you've got to be careful. If you pit too early here, you will be in traffic, and that's precisely what's happened to the AlphaTauri driver. Allied Squire not lapped quite yet, I think. Only Hal lapped so far. But again, just keep going. I can't stress it enough. Keep going. You do not know what's going to happen. And Japella, team orders, yeah, that's what I thought. Because he was far enough ahead going into the chicane. A bit of a weird move because Japella is the reserve, I believe, unless I am wrong. So they're favouring the faster reserve, perhaps, to Antivirus today. Oh, and Antivirus wing damage I've heard as well, so that's probably why team orders was used. So that is fair enough. They're all behind Coyote, the Mexican here. Goose Slayer, he may have pitted a little bit too early because he is behind them for the moment. But around lap 8 the tyres do begin to go, so it is a tough one as they charge up the hill, and Japella looking at Gary around the outside. You can't quite overtake here really unless a mistake is made. And the Dane versus the Brits versus the Mexican in front with Antivirus and his internet. With his internet, he might as well be anywhere. Merck says in the chat, "Come on, Antivirus, thought you were better than this." Yeah, he is struggling at the moment. Goose Slayer, the closest challenger to Merck in the championship, and I think Goose is about 70 points behind Merck, our Tier 2 championship leader, who has decided to take a holiday. He might be on one of those yachts along with the nunnery. The Catholic priests having a good time out at sea. And we do not know what we do not want to know what happens on a Catholic priest infested yacht. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah, Volt pitting. Yellow flags out of the Novell, and it's Allied Squire the wrong way around. What I will say is he's done a good job to try to reverse that, to turn that around in reverse, and they're all stacking up now, like dominoes behind Coyote, stacked up like chips on a poker table, and they're all concertinaing Coyote on those mediums. And again, I don't know, I would have been interested to see what Goose's times were in comparison to Coyote, because you don't want to be in traffic, and as a Goose maybe pitting a little bit too early. Allied Squire will retire. He does not want to go the distance. He's got Tier 1 later. Japella having a look behind. Gary struggling. He's on the same tyres, Gary. Coyote really struggling. Yeah, I've been told by Ted in the pit lane, keeping an eye on the action today, that Coyote does have end plate damage, and it was at Japella having a look. Antivirus as well. I think it was Japella was looking for maybe an overtake on the outside of Gandalf. Gandalf says no way today, and Japella maybe battling as these two are up the hill, and Elusive out in front. I think Ghost Rider knew Elusive on the fresher tyres probably quicker, didn't need to battle for that. Ghost Rider unlucky maybe not to get a podium yesterday with that late safety car, with a lack of penalties compared to those around him. He's running quite nicely in P6 at the moment. He's just staying out on those soft tyres perhaps to avoid the gaggle here. And he's got quite a nice gap to drop into actually when he decides to. But Goose has really got to be frustrated. He's really has pitted too early. Debris there on the exits of that corner. Again, it's all about traffic here. And the problem is, I think you have a decent chance of overtaking here. Oh, and Gary, is he going to go for it? No. If you're not in a DRS train, I think you can get past, you know. I think there is a chance. But if they all have DRS around you and you're on the same tyres, it's incredibly difficult. Ideally, to overtake, you need fresh tyres. But great job from these guys because they're not making any dodgy moves. They're biding their time. It might come down to a mistake as well. McLaren in the pit lane. Gary too far back again. Coyote, splendid job. Must be managing the ERS very well. Deploying where he needs to. And there's that battle behind. Japella not quite close enough. He's close to the back. But really, unless you're, you know, I don't know, like you've got half the car alongside, you've got to back out really here. And Gary late on the brakes and Coyote. Oh, he's going to be in trouble for that, I'm afraid. Gandalf too late on the brakes. And Coyote. Safety car deployed at Monaco. And King Trooper will benefit massively. Volt should still be in front. Yeah, possibly Coyote braked too early or Gary too late on the brakes. Ironically, I seem to have such a bloody habit of commentator's curse because I was just praising them really the lap before for, you know, great job in the traffic. And Gary, the Ferrari, limping home. Trouble at Ferrari once again, I'm afraid to say. But Gary, drive for it at the start of the race and then severe wing damage now. But King Trooper, his teammate, ironically, will benefit. Gary certainly will not. He'll have to change the wing. But King Trooper up to P4 on the mediums. Bunch of nuns up to P3. He stayed out. Oh, what's going on there? That's weird. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Trooper was. Yeah, I've been told ET was battling King Trooper. Pitted a lap earlier for the undercut and he missed the margin a lap too late, which is so unfortunate. But he is still P6. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think he's reserving today. I think he's usually in tier 3 unless I'm wrong. So a great job by ET so far. Just keep it going, mate, and you're going to get some good points. King Trooper up 12 places, so you can start the back and gain places. And again, I think it was the right, I think he started on the hards King Trooper, so the right call from him. It's his favourite track, he's told me, is Monaco. So, doing justice with that. Yeah, antivirus pitting for a new wing. He's down in P12. Again, this is why tier 2, you know, it's hard to predict who wins the races, and Merck's 70-point gap. And as I've mentioned a few times, we really have seen throughout the course of the season. Let me look at the drivers' standings. Goose Slayer has 100 points, and then I think Antivirus is about, I think he's 7th. He's got 71 points. So we've just had this cluster of cars behind Merck, and no one's quite been able to be consistent enough to get podiums, to get the high points, to really challenge Merck. And, you know, Merck's not won it yet. You know, I think as we said last week, but it's just no one's quite been able to take a proper grip and challenge, really, I would say. You know, there's so many guys here who I think do have the pace to do it, but, you know, it is tough to navigate these tier 2 races, and that's why we love watching them and love commentating on them. 19 viewers so far. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying it. We're a third of the way through the race, and we saw 2 safety cars yesterday in tier 3. I think one was around lap 8, and we saw one with about 9-8 laps to go. So we could see some more, and I think the one to look out for is probably a VSC. If we see a VSC, that really could sort of put the cat amongst the pigeons, really. But King Trooper, he has really benefited from his teammate's mistake. Gary, I think he will get a penalty for that, unless Coyote did brake unreasonably early. But Gary still P10, so he'll have to see how this race develops. But yeah, he'll be disappointed. And just a bad, unfortunate mistake from the Ferrari team principal there. Ghost Rider P7, good to see. Again, I think he's benefited a bit. Let's get the position changes on. Beaver time, P8. Struggled a bit, I would say, in Tier 3 yesterday, but fine job from him so far. Japella, I mean, yeah, it's really... I mean, Japella spun out of a Novel, which put him out down in that battle anyway, didn't it? But that hurt him a little bit as well. I believe, I would guess he would have had to pick, 'cause I believe they probably all had wing damage. And as we saw yesterday when Volt had his unfortunate spin, it just is so easy around here. If a car's sideways or, you know, blocks the track, it's just going to be bang, 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 bang. Everyone's just going to hurtle in. So, oh no, don't say that, Lobster. I didn't actually realise you weren't in the race. You would have had a chance of points. As Tedasau did, just keep going. But to be fair, you've got a good replacement in a Volt. And Krabs is still going as well for Team Haas, so not bad. Hal, where is Hal in the safety car in this lap? Oh, Volt's in a brilliant position as well. I didn't notice this, but he's got Hal and well, Volt is separated. We've got Volt P1 and Elusive P2, but Hal is behind the race leader lapped, so he's gonna have to be careful on the restart. But collision between Antivirus and Crab 5 second. Oh, and Gary's gotten something as well. It's really not been a good day for Gandalf. Those spells not quite working today. And a splendid start by Volt Elite. He's 2.2 seconds clear at the end of the straight. And really, it will be a redemption day for Volt if he can win. It's not over yet. It's really, really, really not over yet. We could still see safety car, mayhem, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a shame you're not here, Lobster, and I'm looking forward to the Tier 1 commentary. I'll probably watch it after, but I'm sure it will be just as entertaining as Tier 3. Into the tunnel we go. Yeah, I mean, Hal is on the mediums. They're not... We might see him get out the way at some point, but it is quite hard with blue flags here to get out the way sometimes. I mean, I think I had Sam up my ass in one of the practice races, and I was battling Crusher, trying to keep him behind. It's just trying to navigate when to let him through and when to let him pass. But we have seen some debris. And out of the tunnel, track reset, I believe I saw on near the Novel chicane. I might be wrong, but you saw a little jump in the icon of the car. And Antivirus struggling. I presume it was Antivirus. Hal Pitts. Yeah, it could be his internet as well. But he is struggling. He is struggling. And I'm not, you know, it's not an easy track. I mean, I did say last week Japan's the hardest track on the calendar. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is Monaco. They're equally tough. I think with Monaco, it's just the walls. I mean, I know it's quite common sense, really, isn't it? But it's just, you know, I think if it wasn't for the walls and there's more runoff, it wouldn't be so bad. But, yeah. Oh, crash behind. Is there a crash behind? Yellow flags. Yellow flags. There was a debris there. Did Antivirus get past Gary? Because... Yeah, Gary... Yeah, I mean, Gary got overtaken. We didn't see it, but, yeah. Yellow flags! Oh, and someone spun. Did you see what happened, Ted? Gary did on Antivirus. Yeah, I've been told Gary went for a move on Antivirus. For whatever reason, it didn't pay off. I like Gary a lot, but, you know, for the sake of commentary, trouble at Ferrari. I love you really, Mr. Gandalf, but yeah. Yeah, not exactly, Ted. Ted telling me Trooper's still fighting for Ferrari in the podium places, so it's not all bad. Yeah. He's got to keep going, though, you know. He's got to keep going. I mean, I'm not sure Get Missed It. I don't know. It probably isn't one that Mr. Gandalf would want to watch back. Same with Antivirus as well. Really struggling around Monaco so far. Side by side through the tunnel. Late on the brakes. And turns in. Yeah, this is getting feisty down in P10. It is tough to overtake there. It is all about trust. And maybe there's a bit of lag from Antivirus as well. We don't know really 100%, but yeah. He doesn't have wing damage, Gary, so he's going to keep it going. Well, we don't see any visible wing damage. I mean, they could still have damage. We just can't see any. You know, we look for the end plates being off the cars. And no end plates missing, so. Oh, and Japella and ET going at it now. And the intervals, it really is a battle, really. I mean, Volts is progressing clear. He is clear out front. But as we saw yesterday, do not take anything for granted. And I think he'll know that. And, you know, it is tough when you're out front in races as well. Because you're just waiting for the laps to tumble down. And you're just, you know, get in the rhythm and let's get on with it. But it is very much the battle for P2. Japella a little bit wide there. ET with a time penalty. Let's have a look at the time penalties. ET with 11 seconds. That will hurt him quite badly. But again, you know, just finish the race and see how the penalties get applied. Japella 2 stopping. That's more down to safety cars and the damage. Antivirus with a fastest lap. So Antivirus beginning to turn up the wick. And we didn't quite catch it, but Antivirus getting past Beaver as well into turn 1. Good job from Antivirus. He can still come back into this, get some decent points. Elusive's tyre slightly more worn than King Trooper's. Probably will not make a massive difference as we exit the tunnel here. Again, the pack sort of stretching out. Only Hal to be lapped so far. He's 14th. As I said, there are 2 retirements. Well, a couple of retirements, and he might find himself in the points in the end. About halfway through now. 2 retirements out of the 16-car field so far. Second for Nuns, and Trooper on the back of Elusive. Again, you can't really overtake here unless you're properly got the car alongside. And Gary past Beaver's Beaver pits. Is this? Yeah, it's a wing change for the American. And Japella and ET going at it. Wowie, wowie, into this corner. And I think it I've been told Japella got damage. It looked like a good defense from ET, but we didn't see all of it. It's end plate damage, isn't it? It is end plate damage. Again, that's a tough corner to overtake on, and you know, personally, if someone was, you know, more than sort of a tenth and a half, 2 tenths behind me and went for it, I would probably just turn in, and you know, they don't deserve the space. Antivirus again. Yeah. I wonder, you know, Merck's not here. His rival is not here, and maybe that's playing on the mind of Antivirus. Struggling out on track today. Again, it might be a setup thing though, because I found yesterday I got a really nice setup in time trial, and then it just felt like absolute really tough to drive in the race in qualifying. So I mean, it got better throughout the race, and I was adapting to it a bit, but in quali it was awful. That's why I didn't really set a lap until the end of the session. So if you go the wrong way in terms of setup, it can perhaps hurt you here. Again, it is the battle for second. I've been told Beaver damage again. On his outlap from the pit stop. He might just keep it going for a little bit though. Depends how bad it is, I guess. Yeah, he stayed out. Volt. That gap. It's not gotten gotten massive. And Elusive maybe closing it a little bit now, but yeah, it is very much a comfortable gap indeed for the American. Reserving for Haas. Called up today from Tier 2. Doing a fantastic job for them. As we continue to hurtle around the streets of Monte Carlo. The Casino turned 4 there, and as Sub Lobster told us yesterday, only, well, if you're a resident of Monaco, you cannot go in that Casino. Sorry, Charles Leclerc, you're not allowed in. Yeah, they're very much holding firm, holding station so far. I mean, it's not. I you know, unless anyone gets damaged, we wouldn't expect to see any pit stops. Oh, yellow flags, yellow flags, yellow flags! And ET's. I'm not sure how that happened, but ET in the water. He's have to be careful not to be DQ'd if he's turning around too much. Does well to turn it. Yeah, total front wing loss on the car. Gary will gain a place. Yeah, ET 14 seconds worth of penalties as well. He might have blew it, unfortunately, for the McLaren driver. Doing a great job running, I think, about P6. And is that another car the wrong way around? It's Hal. It's Hal before the pit lane. I don't know whether he just spun it out of Larascas or if it was damage upon trying to enter the pit lane. So these front runners might soon hit the traffic. Yeah. Yeah. Ted's crunched the numbers and Hal might be coming out in front of the pack. Volt could just beat him. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Volt, you probably wouldn't have seen it, Ted, but Volt, you know, really the fastest line on this track is to go to the right-hand side of the straight. But obviously, if a car exits the pit lane, it can cross over, and Volt did just have to correct to avoid a collision. And up the hill we go! An antivirus. Balls of steel as, again, a sock lobster line from yesterday. Balls of steel from antivirus. Up the hill. And I'm going to guess he was probably clipping that because he went into AI for a second. So that might be sent to the stewards. This train at the moment, who's not got any penalties? Well, Volt. Japella free of penalties, MP6. Trooper's got 6, which would hurt him at the moment. Would see him drop out of the podium places. And they've got to be a bit careful here. This is what you've got to watch out for a little bit around Monaco as well. Hal is on the fresher tyres. Volt's 15 laps old. I think purely because we've seen Hal spin quite a bit, is he probably should just hold station behind the race leader. And he's 2 laps behind as well, so he doesn't really gain much by unlapping himself, really. He just needs to prioritise finishing the race, but we might just watch this for a little bit. It's a tough situation, I think, whenever, you've maybe got to unlap yourself. If he does it in a safe manner, it's okay, isn't it? But you know, around Monaco, it's hard to do it safely, and also I would say that Gary Pitts, I don't know whether he had wing damage or not, but he's on the softs. He's taken a little bit of a gamble, I think, trying to get those 13, 14 laps, but he's doing it. Can't really tell if he had wing damage or not. Might have done, I mean, yeah. But ET on fresh tyres, fastest lap, so could be thinking of fastest lap, but it's a little bit early to do it as well. The AlphaTauris looking promising earlier on. They're 6th and 7th at the moment. I guess they've done well to bring it back. Oh, and King Trooper is right on the back of Elusive. They're going to go for it into turn 1. Contact behind. Into turn 1. We go down the inside. Wheel to wheel. Oh, he's not going to back out here, is he? Into the wall! Elusive the wrong way round. And what damage to Trooper as well. What I will say is I don't know whose fault that was, but someone had to back out pretty much. Someone had to back out. Yeah. Elusive possibly ahead, but you know it was tight into turn 1 as well, so you know it's one of those. But an Elusive, maybe he had more space to the left. It's tricky. Monaco's so narrow. You know, possible racing incident. We shall see what the stewards say. Yeah, absolutely. Ted telling me in my ear, Nuns and Gooseley will benefit, and they so will. How many times have we said it today? Trouble at Ferrari. Elusive retire. I don't understand that. Really, I don't. Probably frustrated, I get that, but he still would have got some points. Every point matters, really. But again, it's going to benefit the likes of maybe Coyote, Crabs, Hal. If they get one more retirement in the top 10, it might help out. Yellow flags again. Oh no, it's just Elusive's car. Yeah, Gary. That rear struggle. I mean, I personally don't think the softs. I think unless you start on them or right at the end, I don't think they're a fantastic race tyre because they just degrade too quickly, really. Nun's penalty. Yeah. I think as well, like in terms of the Elusive retirement, I mean, I only really keep a track of Tier 2. Well, Alfa Romeo are top of the constructors in Tier 2. I mean, they're 63 points clear, but AlphaTauri now P4, P5, and can you see any AlphaTauri? Can you see any Alfa Romeo in the top 10? I can't. So AlphaTauri will gain 20 odd points on them. So, you know. And I don't know how close the overall constructors is as well, but I just think every point matters. I mean, you know, all these tiers, these standings are so close. You know, not too many laps. You know, you've done 66% of the race. I just think why not, you know, finish it off really. But, you know, they're entitled to retire or stuff. That's just my opinion. And whatnot, but yeah. Take that as you will. My professional advice. Antivirus, I'm being told, gaining about a second a lap on Goose. He's on slightly fresher tyres. And half a second. He has a 5-second penalty though, which is going to hurt him. Unless he can somehow get that removed. Possible blue flag, I think. I think that's why it was a yellow. Right, 10 laps to go. Trooper fastest lap. Ghost Rider he did this yesterday. Good job not to pick up any penalties. He's P6 at the moment. And imagine if there was a safety car, that would help. You know, the people who don't have penalties would gain a big amount if we see a late safety car. It's looking unlikely at the moment, but maybe I've just sprinkled a bit of jinx across the track. Commentator's curse. 10 laps to go. A vault, as long as there's not a mistake. In a great position. Howell with a spin, but gets out the way still. And I give Howell credit. He's still going. He is still going. The field, Constantina and up once again. I think the battle to probably watch in the closing stages of this DTF1 Tier 2 Grand Prix should be King Trooper attacking Ghost Rider. How aggressive will the driver be? The feisty young Brit. Yellow flags. Antivirus the wrong way round completely. He's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait. No, he's going to go now. He's going to have to pit as well. I think Ghost Rider approaching. If he's clever, he'll just give him space because there's no point battling there, really. Yeah, he's had a real struggle today, Antivirus, unfortunately. Oh, and that's going to... Yeah, oh... Yeah, he nearly did. He nearly held up Trooper, but struggled on the entry to the back. We've seen incidents happen yesterday in similar situations. Luckily, Trooper was able to get through without damage. Ghost Rider blinking ahead as Trooper looks to hunt him down with 8 laps to go. Unless those tyres go off, he's going to go for it again. This move again. Again. No, he makes it work this time, does he? Ghost Rider gets past. Great driving by both of them. I think Ghost Rider gave him as much space as he could, and he did get through it on that occasion. There's a Red Bull ahead. Coyote struggling in the tunnel. Antivirus in the pits. And Gandalf attacking. They're going to be close on the exit, aren't they? But Antivirus ahead for now. I'm glad as well, you know, there was no spins. Because Ghost Rider P5, so he doesn't want to lose out on a great points finish in Tier 2. The gap's consistent out front. If we look at the penalties, we would see Goose Slayer, who we were saying about consistency earlier. Let's cut back to this. King Trooper on the inside again. On the inside again. Down the inside. Yellow flags in the Novel. I think that's Krabs getting out of the way. Good job by King Trooper. And authoritative overtake on Ghost Rider there. Up to P5, and if he can pull the gap, he'll retain P5 as well. Yeah, we should see Goose Slayer, as long as he doesn't pick up more penalties, he should move up to P2, and that would see him move, I think, 52 points behind Merc. So we were saying someone has to make a consistent charge on Merc, and Goose Slayer, maybe he's the one to do it in the closing stages of the season. He definitely has the pace. We've seen him have the pace in the past, and he's beginning to find his old pace back. Ghost Rider with a penalty that will not help his hopes of sticking with Trooper, but I think Trooper on those fresh tyres should pull away anyway. 5 seconds for Coyote, as I think he's in the pit. One of the Red Bulls is. Yeah, Coyote in the pits. Okay, yeah, fixing the wing after an incident in the tunnel is Coyote from what we know. Tyres. Ooh. ET on the back of Beaver. I just thought. I mean, I think the mediums. I think the mediums will be okay till the end, but they might be a bit dicey. You know, they might be a bit dicey, these mediums, towards the end, in the closing stages. They've done 20, you know, odd laps on them. They'll have to be a bit careful. I think they'll be alright, but I mean, Trooper. Ted, if you can, let me know what the gap between, like, the last laps of Japella and Trooper, to see how quickly Trooper is gaining on Japella, because I think Trooper might be gaining by quite a bit now, potentially. I mean, he's 5, 6 seconds ahead of Ghost Rider, and we know from we know from the race so far, King Trooper, you know, like Sergio Perez in 2013, Trooper is not afraid of an overtake here. But we did just see another penalty for King Trooper, so he's effectively 5th really with the 9 seconds, but I don't think that will stop him making a move. Yeah, King Trooper, I've been told, gaining about a second on the last lap to Japella. So he does have the pace if he can keep these soft tyres going. Trooper with the 9 seconds penalties, I don't think that will stop him making a move, based on what we've seen so far. So we'll see how it goes. 4 laps to go. I think it's been a decent race. Oh, yeah, he's really close, isn't he? He might even go for it in the Rascas, but as long as he closed the door at Rascas, he can't really do anything. But he will, I think, go for it in turn 1 if he gets the exit. But Japella, I think, managing the Urs, great traction off that last corner from Japella. Experienced driver, Japella. He knows what he's doing. He's blinking there, though, but I presume he did clip on the overtake out of that last corner. Trooper closing, though. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, a decent race. I think Tier 3 yesterday was probably a little bit more spicy because we had the late safety car, but still good action that we have seen. And great performances throughout the field. Fastest lap at the moment would be Antivirus's. Could see someone go for it as well late on. If they have fresh softs there. I don't know if many drivers will have fresh tyres available. Antivirus close to the back of ET as well, I'm saying. We might drop back to that. And close behind Beaver as well, yeah. Trooper too far back on Japella. I think Trooper's tyres have probably hit the point where they've gone. And he has got the 9 seconds. So there's not too much point of him overtaking, really. Let's go back to Antivirus in the battle for P7 back here. ET blinking. How much has he got left? Antivirus having a slight look, and he's gonna go for it! That was ambitious, but he might have got it done. ET might have something to say about it after the race, but send it he did. And Antivirus moving ahead. Yeah, I 100% agree. Silencer. Very steady out front. And again, you've got to sort of stay calm, really. I think it's one of those. I mean, I was pushing quite a lot at the end of yesterday's race, even though I was winning. You know, just to sort of see whether I could somehow get fastest lap. You know, you sort of... You don't want to let off the gas too much, I guess. But yeah, you do have to sort of, you know, drop it into lean and, you know, not take any risks. But, you know, you kind of just want to stay in the flow. And I also think once you've done about 36, 37 laps, you should just be right on it, really. Especially with how skilled Volt is. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, oh, it's kicking off, yeah. I thought that looked a bit messy from possibly ET, but we didn't quite see all of it. All I'm going to say is I wasn't expecting an overtake to see a car alongside there. So, yellow flags. Yeah, looks like it was Krabs. The Dutch, and the Dutch driver and ET hitting the wall. Yeah, Nuns should have P2. His tyres, Nuns, are 3 laps fresher, which probably will have been the factor that has allowed him to pull that gap to Goose Slayer. And yeah, a bit of a strange one from ET. I mean, I never want to be too critical, but he has got a 15-second penalty, so I don't know whether it's maybe a little bit of frustration of how Antivirus made the move, and then he's tried to come back at him a bit and misjudged or whatnot, and yeah, didn't look too pretty. Great camera view this as well, I would say. Yeah, end plate damage for ET. I mean, Beaver, he might have lost out on 7th, but he will be 8th on penalties. I've been told contact between Japella and Trooper. Did that give Japella damage? Because I've just noticed his end plate's off. Okay. Japella hit on the rear of his car apparently, and I don't know whether that caused the end plate damage or not, but yeah. As well, we'll do a lap without the leaderboards just to admire Monaco. I think this is a really good track with camera views and angles. Really, absolutely beautiful, especially at night. We ran it. Oh, and Trooper loose. Those softs will not be too good now. We did it night race at Apex as well, and I think it's in the game, so why not make Monaco a night race? Because I think it's just it really brings it alive. Really, I mean any sort of night race does, as Singapore does, but yeah. As I said, brings it alive, really, doesn't it? All these lights. Right, final lap of the race. Let's follow the race leader here. He's got past the lapped car again, has he? And he's been in control. He was in control yesterday, really, until the spin. And then he was just unlucky because he couldn't redeem himself. But one last corner, really. And kind of 2 here, but it's only a little king. And it is... just like Ricardo in whatever year it was, it's redemption day for Volt Elites. 1 day after heartbreak, comes back strong. Great mentality, fantastic drive from Volt, leading from the front. And bunch of Nuns, top job to get P2. It looked like it was in doubt at one point, but has managed to pull the gap to Goose in the last few laps. My voice is beginning to go, as you might have guessed. Japella P4, Trooper P5. A bit of a... He did well to recover Trooper because he started low down, but the elusive contact hurt him. And Ghost Rider, great job from him. P6 in Tier 2. Antivirus losing out a little bit, struggling really. P7, ET, fantastic job from him. He's fallen back to P9, maybe apart from that late lunge at the end. Beaver keeping it clean, no penalties, I think, for P8. Mr. Gandalf, I don't know whether the drive-through maybe knocked him off a bit, but that big contact with Coyote hurt him. But at the moment, he will round out the points. So not a bad points haul for Ferrari. I think based on the positions, I would say driver of the day, either Volt, but he did win the race, and we don't particularly like to give it to the people who win the races. Nuns, I think he was down P6, P7 at some point. Nuns, I think he had a little bit of a rough start, but got into the rhythm nicely, and I guess he did take advantage of other people struggling, but he kept it clean, kept it going, and very nice P2 for him. And probably, I would say Ghost Rider as well, because I didn't see him in really any instance. I didn't see Goose Slayer really evolve or Nuns in instance, but Ghost Rider, fantastic job for him in Tier 2 to finish P6 as we watch him on the podium. Let me know if you have any other mentions in the chat box as well, as we are about to finish up the stream. That's your final race classification. Fastest lap was Antivirus's by quite a bit, and again that's proof of how much quicker you can go in fresh tyres here, but you need to get past track position's the important thing, more so than the lap times really. Unfortunately, Coyote, Hal and Krabs just losing out on points with 3 retirements. But an enjoyable race. I enjoyed it. Thank you all for joining me, and for you wouldn't have been able to hear him, unfortunately. I'll try to fix it for next race because I don't understand why people aren't able to add their audio to the stream. But Mr. Larry Lurkin joined me to be Ted Crowd this week, so we might see him next week perhaps if he's not called up to reserve for Ferrari or anything, or someone else might hopefully join me. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the great jobs and stuff because it's just encouraging, and appreciate everyone for watching. It was good to commentate on. My voice is about broken now, so I will wish you a goodbye, farewell. Hope you enjoyed it.